Thanks for staying on. This is still Breakfast live on GTV. I am Thelma Taki. We are celebrating Customer Service Week, and suddenly smiles everywhere when you walk into banking halls and offices, and people are asking themselves, is this the only time I get a smile from service providers? Only because it's Customer Service Week. What have been your experiences as a customer getting services from people that you patronize these services from? Our WhatsApp number is active. I want you to send your experiences to us. We'll read a few of them on our WhatsApp number 0555561034. How do you feel being welcomed into an institution with friendly and accommodating staff? And have you have things been brought to you suddenly, like a glass of water, and you were not expecting it? Did it make you feel appreciated? And what's the essence of celebrating the customer, really, is the question we are going to ask at the table today. Mrs. Julia Canadiosam is the Chief Executive of Masterclass Consulting, and she joins me at the table. Julia, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
We are glad to have you. And it's not mango juice, it's not pineapple juice, it's galam juice, it's pride juice. Unfortunately, this is the state of our water bodies. So we want to create awareness about the menace and then stop it. But beyond the water, which is people also provide as a service, and people serve water to people to welcome them into homes. And that's why things like the galamsey, stopping galamsey are so important. Does it go beyond just offering a glass of water and a smile, just to make a customer feel appreciated?
To be very honest with you, it's the little things. And you know, Customer Service Week, it's something where we take 1 week out of the year, right, to recognize just not our external clients, but internal clients too as well, which are your employees, right? But I use this example the same way as how every year we recognize our birthday to celebrate another year of life, the way how we recognize Mother's Day globally and also Father's Day. That's where Customer Service Week comes in. But really and truly, Customer Service Week should be something that takes place every day. Starting from the time that you park your car in the parking lot, security should be able to greet you. Right? So it's the little things that go a long way. Yes, we set time aside 1 week out the month. We have some companies that celebrate it for a full month in October. But really and truly, it should be a behavior and a skill that takes place every day. When this week is recognized, it's just a matter of taking it a step up, just to show your customers, both internally and externally, how much you care.
So it's not just about the week, and it's not just about the month.
No.
Beyond the stipulated period, shouldn't customers feel this lovely, bubbly, welcoming service?
Absolutely. In your introduction, you mentioned something about, customers maybe going into, I'll make an example, financial sectors. Sometimes you go to these financial institutions and you have the customer service rep sitting there rather waiting for the customer to greet them. It should be the other way around, right? You can change a customer's mood in a matter of seconds from the time they even park their car, right? From security directing them where they should park, from opening the door for them. You're welcome, madam, to even going inside a place of business. Good morning, good afternoon, Miss Thelma. How may we help you today? That, I'm sure, will change your whole mood. You could have been having a bad day before you even went to that establishment, right? But the fact that someone even acknowledged you, that in itself will change your whole perception.
But do the providers know this? Because it doesn't sound like rocket science, but the reality is people, more often than not, get a very opposite reception when they go to businesses.
Let me say that all businesses should know, okay? The reason why I say this is because service is at the core of any organization you work for, even if you're an entrepreneur. I always use this example, even if you're a tomato seller, if you sell pineapples, or you're a big Fortune 500 million company, you have to have some form of service within your brand. If you don't have service, there's no company. You cannot expect to make so much revenue without having service. Service is what drives the profits and what drives the revenue. So it's the little things that go a long way. To answer your question, they should know. They should know. And not only knowing, there should be trainings that are put in place at minimum once a quarter in all institutions to learn to unlearn. Does that make sense? Yeah.
So learn
and
how
learn
to treat the customers, and unlearn the old ways that we've treated people in the past that have not worked.
Yes.
But is it just for people who sell products though? Because we have lots of people selling on social media platforms. Does customer service apply to all of these areas as well?
It applies to any industry that you're in, whether you're on social media, whether you're selling remotely, as you just mentioned, whether you're selling in person, even if you're just a consulting company, it applies to every business. Even if you're a church, it applies because you're seeing customers, right? When you're going to church, you're wanting people to come and worship. It's the same thing. How your exterior looks of the building, how the interior looks. How do people welcome you when you come in a church? Do they greet you? Do they not greet you? So it's not just financial sectors or just one. It's every single industry. Customer service is very important.
What kind of businesses do you deal more frequently with in your consulting work?
I have experience in doing retail, hospitality. When I say retail, more the financial sectors, SMEs, and then also hospitality and even vehicle concierge and even nanny service too as well.
And when people come to you, what are the basic things you tell them to do now to improve their customer service?
Smiling. Smiling goes a long way. You're smiling, you're grooming, and your presentation. Just as me and you are conversing right now. You're sitting upright, you're so in tune and so keen on what you're wanting to hear from me. That in itself is service right there. That's a form of non-verbal communication. Us speaking to each other right now, we're speaking verbally. All of that is a part of customer service. You see, when you talk about customer service and you talk about customer experience and service week, people think that, oh, we have to provide candy to our clients. We have to provide them a car. It's the little things that you leave a memorable mark for a customer. Let me give you an example. Earlier this week, there's a particular establishment that I go and eat at quite frequently, right? And the parking is very limited. And next to their establishment is a financial institution. And I see the security all the time. He's always, directing traffic or whatnot. So I was parking on the side of the road because the place I was going to didn't have parking. So then I finished parking, then he saw me and he kind of signaled me like, where are you going? And I said, oh, I'm going next door, so it's okay, I can park. Come. Stop traffic. I parked in the establishment that I was going to visit. For me, I was quite impressed. So when I parked and I said, thank you, I said, do you know this week is customer? He said, of course, madam, I know. For that, I just gave him something small because that just made me feel like I was important.
But the thing is, it's something small, really, that makes people wary because it's become so ingrained to have a near frosty reception that when someone comes all lively and warm and welcoming, you instinctively think, what's going on here? Why is he being so nice?
Because it's foreign. And see that the funny thing about that is if the customer was receiving that all the time, right, of the internal client, which is the employee, right, it wouldn't be foreign to them. But because establishments are not consistent, you understand, that is why you may get the sense, what is going on here? What are they doing?
Why are they being so nice all of a sudden?
It's a level of consistency. Let me tell you something. Internationally, when I travel, right, there's this place, and I'm sure everyone has heard of it. It's called, they have Walmarts and they have Targets. They sell the same exact things, the same concept. You know the difference between the two? When you walk into Walmart, you rarely get a hello. Everybody's busy. There's things thrown all over the place. It's a place to shop. It's kind of like Malcolm, a one-stop shop. Target is the same thing, but you know why I go to Target? It's a bit more expensive. But the reason why I go there is because as soon as I walk in, there's someone to greet me. As soon as I walk in, the ambiance is so welcoming. As soon as I walk in, there's an attendant to give me a card. Good morning, how may I help you this morning? Oh, you're looking for Pampers, it's on aisle 12. That's the meaning of customer service. Walmart is cheaper, but I'd rather go and pay more money to this establishment. Why? Because they make me feel important. They welcome me, they treat me. They don't know what kind of money I'm bringing in, even if it's just $1, one peso. But the fact that they treat me as if I have $1 million, that is what's important to me. So I will go to an establishment where I know the service is good and where I feel important. Even here in Ghana, there's different places that you'd be surprised I go to just because, number one, they know me by name, and two, they know what I like, and they care. They take interest in knowing to care about you.
So the company really has to invest beyond human resource,
yes.
The human resource department, being the people to be at the front line of this. It should really be everybody in the organization comes into contact with anyone outside the organization.
1,000%. And let me tell you this, when you talk about internal, it starts with there's a difference of customer experience, the experience the customer receives, okay, from that organization. And then you have employee experience. What experience is the internal client, which is the employee, receive? From the time they interview with the organization, from when they start, is the level of morale good? Is the team spirit there? What is the organization doing to boost the morale of the internal client? Because here's the thing, you cannot expect an employee to exude service excellence if the organization themselves is not championing it internally.
Preach.
You cannot. You cannot keep hammering down on an internal customer, which I'm talking about the employee, for them to exude excellence if you yourself are not championing it.
So employees are customers of the organization.
Yes, they're internal customers. Yeah. And the external client is who you're selling to, providing the service to.
So this reorientation, you say it begins with a smile.
Yeah.
How far does it go?
It goes a long way, and also the organization that you represent. Let me tell you that I've been in the industry for over 20 plus years. I've been fortunate to work internationally, both here and overseas. And I will tell you, there's clients that when I finished university, my first job I took, I have clients that still call me now to check to see how I'm doing. When are you coming back? We really want you back. Mr. Johnson, we really miss you around here. You have to leave a memorable mark. Even here in Ghana, there's places that I've worked for. They still, that's Kunedu with. They don't, and see, any organization that you work for, once you're in that institution, it's not Thelma so-and-so. It's Thelma with GTV. It's Kunedu with so-and-so. That's how they remember you by. So it's very important, the smile, your presentation, your grooming, your hair, everything. Because they say that it's 85% of it's more of 85% of what your appearance is, non-verbally, and 15% of what you say is what the customer buys into.
So they're looking at you and they're looking beyond what you're saying to actually the person standing before them.
Yeah. And it's just like when you're applying for any type of job, right? You're selling yourself, right? So usually when you sit down in front of an interview, within the first 2 minutes, you have to be able to sell yourself, both appearance-wise and what's on paper. When I'm looking at you automatically, this lady here, very professional, well-groomed, on point. I look at those things before I listen to what comes out of your mouth. Yeah.
So this, let me ask a very Ghanaian question. What's happening to us? Because you're saying that the company should know this. And yet, I'm sure that when we get to the screen, we'll get some experiences of what people have stories people have to tell about the kind of reception that they've got. Where did we get it so wrong? Because we're hospitable people. We are touted as being friendly and very open and warm. So why the frost that we encounter in business?
There is no form of consistency. I will say that from my experience here, there's no form of consistency. And we take customer service, there are some establishments, or I can say Ghana, so we tend to take it with a grain of salt. We're all about this as opposed to the service. And it's the other way around. It has to be about the service before it can be about this. And you have a lot of SMEs that have come to set up because they've lived abroad and then been able to come back and they want to give back to Ghana. They understand that. But see, I also say that it doesn't matter. Even if you've not traveled, you should understand. It starts with the service bit, right? And anyone, to me, when I tell people that I mentor and they come for my trainings, everybody has a level of customer service. It's a skill that is in you. It's also a skill that has to be acquired and taught. The reason why I say that it's in you is because it takes nothing to give a smile. You don't pay to get a smile. Smiling costs you nothing. That in itself is customer service, right? But we are stuck in our ways, and there's just a level of inconsistency. That's the problem that we have. If we can understand the true meaning of what customer experience is and excellence and the importance of investing, I've got to invest with my company needs to invest. So that way, if I allow or give my employees, my internal clients, that level of training and understanding, okay, and respect okay, and a high level of morale, they will in turn be able to exude that out.
I make calls to service providers, and you get a pickup by a customer service person. Hello, thank you for calling so and so. My name is X. How can I help you? And in the frustration, sometimes we do have a little run at the service providers, don't we?
Yeah.
What's the relationship that should exist when someone picks up a call to pick up a phone to call someone, knowing that the person on the other side is also human? So they're paid to be nice to you, but you shouldn't put all your frustration on that one person, because they are human too. Half the time they can't even solve the problem. They just have to pass it on to the next person.
Well, it shouldn't even be like that. Number one, there has to be levels of empathy, right? Every customer is different. And as a customer service expert, if you're an agent, whether you're front facing, you need to be trained to come down to the customer's level. Okay, I said this earlier, that like you're saying, you could be a very irate customer, but just me empathizing with what you're going through can change your mood just like that. Thelma, I'm so sorry you didn't receive credit. You know, the other day myself, we went through that same experience. Let me see what I can do to rectify that issue for you. You should be able to handle it to a particular point before you hand it off. And see, that's what's very annoying. You call and they say, well, let me transfer you to this department. First of all, there should be a system in place to where whatever the customer is calling for, hit 1 for this, hit 2 for this. That way the customer can go directly to that department and deal. But if any reason they don't, they happen to hit a wrong option, there should be some level of expertise that the customer experience agent or expert should own before even transferring that call, so you don't get angry again. But at the same time, you have to come down to the client's level. Empathize with them. Make them understand that you've also been through, because you just mentioned we're all human. The expert is also human. I'm sure what you've gone through, they've gone through the same thing. If they verbalize with you, I think you'll be able to come down a bit, right? To where even if they have to transfer the call, your anger from when you first called has quite gone down a bit.
Who should get customer service training in an organization?
Everyone should have some form of customer service training. Every organization should have some type of service quality department within their organization. They have to. And if you're your own entrepreneur and you're selling tomatoes, you should have a level of customer service experience.
Have you been to Makola lately?
I've not been late.
Chances are the person on the street who's selling, some people, because they run small businesses, their own businesses, it's a one-man business, they find very little need for customer service. Is that what you advise?
Let me tell you this. There's a particular lady that sells bananas to me that I buy from. I only buy from her. You know why? Because she makes sure when she sees me in traffic, she stops me to make sure if I need bananas. And she has my phone number. If she doesn't see me by Saturday, she's calling me to say, hey, mommy, I didn't see you today. Where are you? Is everything okay? She is a banana seller. But she's still reaching out. You understand? I have someone in my area to where if I'm driving and they see my tire is low, they will stop me to say, mommy, we need to. It's the little things that go a long way. The little things that go a long way.
Let's hear what your experiences are. We are talking customer services. Customer Service Week this week, in fact, the whole month of October, apart from being Pinktober, which highlights issues about breast and breast care and health of breasts. And we wear pink ribbons to say, get checked, get tested. Early detection is key to survival. It's also Customer Service Month, and we are highlighting why it's so important. So if you find yourself receiving loads of messages from your service providers this week and say, oh, happy customer service, my banks have done a couple already. Do you just look at it and say, yes, you've done quite well, or do you have other stories to tell? Our WhatsApp number is 055-555-61034, and that's what you need to send your comments to. We are at the table with Mrs. Julia Canadiosam. She's the Chief Executive of Masterclass Consulting. Julia,
yes.
Is the customer always right?
No. But at the end of the day, the customer is coming to get a product or service from you. So, yes and also no. How can I give this example? Okay, let me give a good example. You go into an establishment. I, as a customer, come to your establishment, right? Your hours are 8 to 5, but I come in at 10 after 5. your security tells me I can't come in. That in itself makes me very angry.
10 after 5.
10 minutes after 5, or let's say 5 minutes after 5, but you're closed. Your security tells me I can't come in. One of your agents also tell me that I cannot walk in, right? I know the place closes at 5, but you know what? Even though the customer is wrong, an agent could have said, oh, madam, we've closed, but you know what? We'll go ahead and let you in. But next time, just know that our hours are from 8 to 5.
The banks should learn this.
They should open 10 minutes early and close 10 minutes late. And even if a customer comes after, they're parking. Usually banks, you're still doing things after the bank closes, right? Just acknowledge. It doesn't hurt to let that customer in. I'm wrong, but just, oh, I'm so sorry, madam, but it's okay. You go ahead and come.
They will say that if they allow one person in, it opens the floodgates for everyone else to say, well, even if I'm 10 minutes late, they will let me in. And so it gives people room. Whereas if you know, I've been to a bank, and because they close the gate at 4:30, and I've been there at 4:32, I've stood outside looking in the banking hall, and I could see the security on the other side just locking the door, making sure that I don't get. I'm right here. It's 2 minutes.
Just 2 minutes. Yes, you know the bank closes at 4:30, but what they could do just to resolve the conflict is just let you in. Even if it's a floodgate, what is it? It's a bank, for crying out loud. It's just customers that want to bring their money to you. At the end of the day, they're coming to do business with you, right? So when the customer is always right in a sense, but even when they're wrong, find ways to empathize or resolve the issue. They themselves, they know they're wrong, but they know, you know what, so-and-so treated me so well. They themselves, they'll be like, wow, you know. So yes, the customer is always right. And there's also times you do need to fire a customer, okay? In a sense that there are customers that will take advantage of your business. They'll never bring you revenue but they always want to fight with you or find ways to take advantage. You have to know when to be able to cut that relationship off.
Can you report your customer to somebody? If you're in the customer service team and someone walks in, a client walks in and is being rude to your staff, for example, who do you report these things to?
Well, there should be a service quality unit, whether it's the head of service quality or a customer experience manager. Usually when you walk into establishments, right, you will find that you'll be able to get QR codes where you can scan to either put in a survey, or there's a phone number that you can call. If you need to see a front face, there usually is a customer service manager. When it gets to that particular customer service manager, usually what they are supposed to do is, if they are to contact the client by phone, see what the issue is and find ways they're able to solve it. But to answer your question, yes, there is always someone to report to.
And I will ask who the service providers can also be, who to report the service providers to. So if I receive bad service from a company and the service provider there is perhaps rude to me and not the other way around, do I ask, can I speak to your manager? Is the manager the person to go to rectify that?
So you're
issue?
A customer and you need to...
I'm a customer and I feel a customer service person at a company has been perhaps rude to me.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I mentioned that there should be a service quality department, or there should be a customer experience manager within that particular facility that you can immediately report to. And if not, there should be contact numbers everywhere where you can call and make that report. And hopefully, even emails as well.
Hopefully the manager won't come and I've heard this before. The supervisor said, well, you can talk to the manager, but she's going to tell you the same thing I'm telling you. Don't say that, basically. So these are messages. I'll show some of them to you, Julia, that are coming from the board. 05555 61034. Customer Service Week. What are your experiences? And I'm sharing your thoughts, not the thoughts of GBC. This one says, I quite remember my former boss once said the customer is always right. So I think for a healthy relationship between customers and workers, it should stay like that. Customers are always right. Anna Man from Winneba. Okay. Dr. Julia Konedu, you are loved, as well as you're really on point with this broad topic of customer service. In fact, customer satisfaction should always be a company's priority. Jesus said, just as you do or don't do for others, you did or never did for him. Mina Hunter Franco Babu, going all over the place from New Edubiasi. Thank you for that message. Good morning, GTV. You guys are doing a fantastic job for Mother Ghana. Customer service in Ghana is very bad, and many companies and institutions have collapsed, or their profit margin has gone down due to their inabilities in providing a good customer service to their clients. I'm glued to this new restaurant I eat due to their welcoming smile and their reception they give any time I enter. One big insult I've witnessed in Ghana from some service providers goes, "I don't have change," after you have purchased an item. It really irritates me, and I hope this bad attitude will change from today. Bismarck from Enyandenchra. Bismarck, I so feel the frustration here. You get into, for example, a taxi, you pay your fare, and then the driver turns to you and says, "I don't have change." But it's not my responsibility to give you change. I've paid. That's my responsibility. Yours is to give
me the change back, because they probably want to keep the extra that you from.
Listen, Bismarck, I'll buy you toffee for this comment. So on point. I feel that. On customer service, I want to recommend the Bell for their warm reception right from the car park to the inside, and the ambience of the environment.
Yeah.
I just like how they handle customers, such that anytime I'm in Accra, I always like to go buy something from them. Kudos. I must also recommend ECG office at Dodowa. They are very responsive and accommodating. Kudos to them as well. Thank you very much. So I'm surprised to see ECG in this list. And so kudos to that office at Dodowa, if indeed this message turns out to be true. Kojo Benson is sending us this message. If you want to commend the company, that's fine. It's customer service. Let's appreciate the companies that are doing it right. Customers are not always right,
yes,
because they are humans, but make them feel right in order to proceed.
Yeah,
I think Julia is 100% with this comment. Thelma had a very unpleasant experience this week. I had a call from one of these financial institutions, apparently following on me since they had not been explaining to the caller that things were not too good. From the other end, she responded by saying, "That does not mean," and I cut in and asked, "What did you just say?" And she sort of backtracked. I was livid. Amande, I can understand why you would be livid. And more thoughts are coming in. Multitudes breakfast news. We are sharing the stream to all the people on our mailing list. Ask to be put on our WhatsApp mail, and we'll put you there. Otherwise, watch it all over again on our social media handles, GTV Ghana. And we continue with our messages. PFS, I transferred money to my Airtel Tigo money account through the interoperability, and over a week now, all I hear from them is that it is still pending. I'm still waiting to receive the amount in my account. Please get in touch with the customer service team of the company and make a complaint, right? Because if you have a complaint, the customer service is supposed to be the first desk which will receive you, and then perhaps if they can't handle it, they pass it on to the other business. Julia has more to add.
I was even going to add to this message here. I transfer money to my Airtel Tigo account, money account. First of all, the company should have some form of service level agreement when there's a complaint. There should be a level within 0 to 24 hours, 0 to 72 hours. The customer is getting a return call back. And even if the issue has not been resolved, there should be a time period where the customer is hearing a response back from the company. So that is wrong. Very wrong.
So if you have a problem and the company is responding to you in a timely manner, that's also bad customer service.
It's very bad customer service, because the company should respond before the customer even picks up the phone. The company should respond, before the customer even calls back again. And a week is way too late. Even 2 days is late. You understand?
It has to be.
The company should have some internal level agreements to where when this takes place, we'll give you 24 to 48 hours. If there's this type of complaint, it takes 24 to 72 hours. That should be relayed to the client so they know the time frame of when their issue will be resolved.
Good thoughts there, Julia. More messages coming in. Good morning. Now, based on our traffic, we don't get there early. As a matter of hunger, especially Fridays, slaps security before you see the staff coming to open. I think she's talking about the bank situation. So we don't get there early, and maybe on Fridays it will get better. I'm not quite sure what you're trying to say here, but let's be a bit more clear, and we'll be back to read that message. Good morning. Yes, every customer is right, but in Ghana, customer is not right. I work with Scanscom Limited at the customer service center, and I was privileged to learn how to appreciate customers. In Scanscom, Customer can insult you, but you have to apologize to the customer and solve whatever issue he or she brings in. Julia talked about how to de-escalate and
empathize
and
yep.
empathize.
Yeah.
So I guess what you're saying there. And if a company is doing that right, they deserve to be commended. Good morning, my ladies. Sometimes the customer service here is very bad. The way they talk to customers is very annoying. Now from Colleague Julia Conedu, I love you. You're getting massive love from here. Perhaps I'll take the last one. Good morning. Please, can regulatory authorities help customer service delivery? Because in Ghana, customer service doesn't exist. If it does, why should some shops, a mall, say goods sold can't be returned? So is it possible to regulate, or are there staff there to regulate all these activities of customer service people?
Most definitely.
There should be?
There should be, yes.
Does it exist though?
It exists, but let's just say that it's not being monitored and managed well, properly.
So then what should we do?
Let me say this. So I can say with the financial sectors, right, there is a level of complaints regulatory system. There's a regulatory complaint system in place. And then if for any reason with the SLA or the time period that is not resolved, the customer should be able to escalate that to Bank of Ghana. Okay? So there is a system in place for the financial sectors. When it comes to retail, I know there's also a consumer agency within Ghana that you can actually report to.
Consumer protection?
Consumer protection, yes, too, as well. Is it active? Is it effectively working as it should? Probably not, but we need to do better in that area. But what I will say is this: every establishment, right? That's what it goes back to what I was saying in the beginning of the conversation. With every organization, there needs to be some type of department set with service excellence. So it doesn't even get to this point that we're referring to here. Yes, there needs to be a consumer protection agency, but there also needs to be a department within that particular organization that an external client should be able to make a complaint to.
Julia, final words, Customer Appreciation Month. If a customer is doing well on that front, what should they do? How can we all, because we provide customer service one way or the other to everyone we meet. How can we all improve our customer relations?
Just the way we interact with our customers, our grooming, right? Like I said, the smile. I mean, I know when I say that, it's like, yes, just your smile alone.
As easy as.
Welcoming. If I can say one last thing, a customer service. I came in, okay, I needed to purchase some airtime. I didn't have airtime to make a call, and I asked one of your associates, is there any way? Within less than 5 minutes, they came back to me, took my number, and did a transfer for me. That in itself is that's a customer experience for me here.
So we're getting
because
it right.
they could have said, no, we don't. We don't have it. But she came back within 5 minutes, brought her phone and said, please kindly give me your number. How much do you want? That in itself is a customer experience.
Julia, thank you so much for sharing these tips with us. I'm sure we'll have you back when we need more from your consulting to help us understand these issues.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Julia Canadiosam is the Chief Executive of Masterclass Consulting, helping us understand customer service, and it's Customer Service Month. Also, Pinktober, because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. All women being urged to go out there, get tested, examine your own breast, get people to help you to examine your breast, doctors, close family members, and get help if you find anything abnormal. And it starts with a smile with customer service. Just smile, 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 like I'm smiling at Cafe Day now. Hello, Caf.